Are we all ready? Because I've clicked record and I feel like I should have asked, are we ready before I did that? I haven't actually
Dan, are
heard
you
Dan's
ready?
voice.
But you shall not.
No.
Okay.
I'm kind of still waiting for these notes to load and get to where they should be. But beyond that, ready.
I had issues with that earlier today, Dan. I was like, this really can't be all that happened in the last episode. Like 15 minutes later, Dan's notes load. Yep, that's exactly all that happened. And to that, I mean, the virtues are waylaid on their way back to the ship as they went on a roundabout path to search for Rython's remains. They're ambushed by a large group of deadly creatures, lizard-like and poisonous, that came up out of a large tar pit filled with bones. The battle is tough, but in the end, they overcome, though it is a close thing. They determined that fortuitously the battle had taken place next to a pit that houses Rythie's mother's bones. They burned the bones, save for a souvenir that Abrashmina planned on giving to Tamim whenever they returned to Ashar, and they returned to the ship exhausted but feeling accomplished.
All right. You can have half an inspiration, which means
I'm gonna
you
take
get
my
to
inspiration.
roll twice, and you can take it, but take the other roll, but only if it's the same as the first roll. So, use that wisely.
No, that's not how that works. No.
You keep telling me how a lot of things do and don't
re-roll,
work.
but you can only re-roll a d10.
Yeah. You get to cast guidance on
I'll
yourself
use my inspiration
for one
however I
roll,
like.
as long as you can cast the spell guidance. Okay. Um. So yeah, you arrive back at the ship, and stow yourselves away in the, what little kind of comfort there is. I can't remember if the plan was to camp on the beach. I think it might be actually. Now that I think about it, or was that when you arrived?
I'm afraid I
No,
don't
we were
know
getting
till
a
I
long
get there.
rest on the boat, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Well.
thought didn't we rest because there was allusions to maybe the trip will not be smooth
Yeah,
sailing?
we might have camped on the beach, and then we're just like, oh, we're gonna camp on the beach, and then.
I think it was. I think it was. I basically said if something happens during the boat trip, you will not have had a full rest. So, just bear that in
Oh, okay.
mind. And you guys were like, "We'll play it safe and take a rest."
Okay.
Yep.
Dan, roll me a d12.
Oh no.
To get the dice though. Rolled.
Don't
9.
roll a 13. Okay. Um, you are able to take a full long rest without interruption, and as morning comes on Gormanthan, it is chilly and sort of moist on the coast, but you wake feeling rested and strengthened and all that, and so you all load up onto the ship, um, and Yuri begins the arduous journey home, well, to Calland. Um, you guys, there was maybe talk of teleporting, but I think you eventually decided that you were just gonna get the boat back to not be rude.
Abrashmina was going to cast Sending because we also discussed it might not be prudent to teleport if we don't know where to go.
Okay.
Because Nahasira and Deontay may not be in Ashar yet. So she will cast Sending in the morning to
To whom?
Nahasira,
Mm-hmm.
and she will say, we return from Gormanton successful. Um, important news that cannot wait. Um, Raithi been in contact?
Okay. Your response is immediate. Raithi has been in contact. You will not be able to get to us alone. Deontay will pick you up.
Okay. She did not swear he would pick
Yeah.
him up.
So, a minute or so later, you receive a similar message from Deontay. Well,
Okay.
similar in type. It's more of a, "Hey, Mina baby, how's it going? Uh, let me know where to pick you up."
She will respond with, "We will be in Calland in a few hours." The city of Calland in a few hours, she will say. Or we can teleport back to Ashar. Your choice. If I do not hear from you, I will assume Ashar.
He will respond, "No point us both having to teleport." He'll say, "Meet me at the mead house in Calland."
Okay. I will let the others know.
All right.
Meat house.
Mead. Mead.
Mead. Meet me at the meat house.
Mead house.
Red makes a face.
Mm-hmm.
Red makes a face at meat house.
I thought you said meat house. I was like, I would also make a face at that.
What
Okay.
is mead?
It's like a honey wine kind of concoction. Super fucking sweet.
You do not like it?
No, it's too sweet. I prefer ale.
I would like to
Whiskey.
try it, perhaps.
Alright.
I like sweet things.
Okay. You're gonna love this then.
Well, all right. Your journey is again fairly straightforward. There's no danger. It's a little choppy, but you make it back to Calland without issue. And when you arrive, the six of you traipse towards the mead house, and kind of snow dusting the ground, and everyone's kind of shivering again. And you head inside this like warm, heady atmosphere. Even sort of, it's kind of early afternoon, and you see, like sort of looking around, you see Deontay is kind of lounging back, sitting up on the bar, like idly strumming a lute to much aplomb.
Is it busy?
Yeah, it's not busy, but it's kind of somewhere in the middle.
Does anyone know where I can find a winter wolf?
Makud gets a lot of stares at that. And the bartender, who's this big
I
sort of
don't even speak Callan. I would have to.
yeah, you say
just
that in common.
That
Yeah.
in a show. I thought I
Oh,
could speak Callan.
yeah, you can't speak common, can you?
I put common down, but I think it's a show. like a Shari common.
Right.
I can only have common and Minotaur, so it has to be a Shari.
Okay.
Because no one speaks canon but Bryn, if we remember.
Yes.
So he would just say that in a Shari, I guess.
Everyone would stare at him, and then Mina will repeat it in common.
The bartender will like jerk a thumb over his shoulder. The woods usually, and he kind of like looks around and gives everyone like I don't fucking know kind of look.
He says the woods, Makut.
Have there been any sightings nearby? Travelers mentioning them?
Not for a little while, but that's not to say they're not there.
I mean, thank you. I'll have 4 bottles of your finest, 5 bottles of your finest whiskey.
Five?
Preferably. Listen, it's gonna be a while before I'm home again, and it's kind of, I miss it.
50 gold.
Pop down to 50 gold.
He will hand over the bottles.
I'll put 4 of them in my bag. Can I get some glasses too?
He kind of shrugs and nods and hands over a few.
I would like to try some mead. Abrashmina will say.
Sure thing. It's 3 silver for a cup.
She will happily pay the 3 silver. She's going to get Makud a double and just give him a gold to make it easier.
Sure.
A double mead.
Yeah.
Twice the honey.
Glades.
Yeah. So, Deontay says, like jumping down from the bar. How did you find the lovely Gormanthan?
It was deadly.
Oh, interesting.
But, there was a creature guarding the center of it that is now dead. There was also an archfey guarding the entrance to said heart, and several death lizards.
Death
That was the
lizards.
part. Yeah, that was the best part.
Right. Well, that's interesting. I don't really know what to say to that, to be honest.
The important thing is that we managed to retrieve the wormfill as requested, and also something else. And she'll kind of look over at Declan, who will open up like his little box bag of holding thing, so that Deontay can see the dragon egg.
See his eyes go wide, and that sort of like jovial, joking atmosphere immediately disappears. We need to get to Nahasira now, and you see he's like leaning in and speaking in a very low voice.
Yeah, sure. I guess we can head off now. You can't stay for a drink.
He shakes his head.
Bryn will take and fill every single one of the shot glasses in front of her and drink all of them. Put the top back on the bottle, put it away. Can we get that mead to go?
That's not really a thing, but sure.
Bashmina will pay him an extra silver so that they can keep the cups.
Sounds good.
But I wanted to hunt the wind wolf.
We will come back and we will hunt the winter wolf. And we will tell tales around the fire about this.
I will hold you to that. He says like, chasing or something with his mead, and then just throws it back, and kind of like makes a like face, like up. He's very sweet.
Told you.
Oh, I suppose I could have just drinking it, I suppose, and Abrashmina will try to chug her glass of mead.
I mean,
And be like, smooth. Just leave with a cough.
smooth. All right,
Smooth.
smooth. Well, Deontay will pull from his pocket satchel something, what looks to be a small kind of silverish black hunk of ore, and will kind of grip it tight in his hand and kind of gesture towards the door like, let's get out of here kind of thing.
We go then.
Yeah.
So he will lead you out, and you'll sort of take hands and everything, and teleport away, and you can see the sort of magic that surrounds you all as you do, like turns kind of silvery, and then this very like bright red and orange, and you are sort of drawn up into the air as part of the teleportation. It's a very strange kind of atypical sensation. You appear
As compared to our previous teleportations.
Yes,
Or this
yeah.
teleportation is weird. Okay.
as compared to previous. This is a weird one. Though yeah, it's sort of difficult for Makud to like parse exactly why it's weird, but it's weird. Yeah. You arrive on sand, apparently, or what feels like sand anyway. And you look down and find yourselves in a place that seems kind of like a Shah. Although looking around, you see a lot more like trees and plants and that kind of thing. And you feel like you're on almost like a tropical island, with like this huge volcano rising up from the center of like a really deep, thick jungle. And you see like there's several small houses all around you, that are sort of, all of them are inlaid with like draconic imagery, and this kind of little village that you're standing in is like extremely picturesque and pleasant. You can smell something like delicious wafting through the like, warm afternoon air, and you can definitely like taste, or definitely sort of smell that it's again that sort of Ashari style cooking. And then also you see like all the people here are wearing kind of the same thing, these sort of like orangish brownish robes, that are, to be honest, very like everyone is very scantily clad. No one's really wearing a huge amount. Many of them are like really heavily tattooed, with these sort of tribalistic tattoos, and a lot of people kind of give you like some vaguely surprised looks when you arrive, but none sort of look like something, something's happened that they could never imagine in a million years, kind of thing.
Where are we?
Deontay like immediately starts heading towards the volcano, and as you follow, he sort of pockets the metal, and he says, "This is the Isle of the Gedekti. It's the Gitanarai's home."
All right. Then I'll follow after him.
Yeah.
Sames.
For sure.
But he's trying to look where the source of that smell is coming from.
You can see that there is like a large sort of open fire with what appears to be a huge rack of like sticks of meat in their sort of ashari as kebab style.
Anyone around? Tending to it?
Yeah, there's people cooking it.
So as we like follow along the path or something, I presume, is there Makuda's just going to start deviating towards the sticks of meat.
Yeah, you see there's a woman like standing next to it. She's got like her whole head is shaven, and she's got these like scale like tattoos all over her, like covering almost every inch, like right up to the bottom of her neck. Like the only kind of skin that you can see that isn't tattooed is her face, and like specifically down the back, it like looks like the spines of some lizard. And she kind of turns and gives you a big grin as you approach, and like you see her like reaching for a stick that's like near the edge of the fire, just keeping warm, and like holds it out towards you.
Makud will graciously accept, and then he's not going to be able to clearly communicate this at all, but he's going to flicker one of the crystals of bounty and then like make a mimicking motion to like throw it on the ground, or like if they've got a table or something somewhere, like do that and then like make eating movements, and then thumbs up.
Yeah. So he's sort of asking if he can have some. Sorry.
No, he reached for the offered stick. He was
I
giving
see.
her one of the crystals of bounty and then showing her how
I
to
see.
use
I
it,
see.
like,
Sorry,
earlier.
I zoned out for a second there. Yeah. She like regards it curiously, but will like take it. She doesn't want to be rude, and she gives you a nod of thanks and offers you another stick.
He will double fist those sticks.
As God intended. Yeah, and so you guys start the sort of warm climb up the mountain. Imagine like shedding all your Callan clothes as you go. As you've gone, from like Sweden to I don't know, somewhere hot, the Mediterranean, very quickly. Eventually, though, you arrive at the summit, and you're kind of shown into this like tunnel built into the side that opens up into a huge like vaulted room. This room is like massive, like the size of like a cinema or a theater or something like that. And like looking out, you can see it doesn't have one of the walls, and there's a big hole cut out, like looking out over this glistening like turquoise ocean, that you can see like hangs out to one side of the island, with like no sign of land at all in the distance. In this room, you see 3 figures. Or 4 figures, sorry. The first 2 you recognize, Nahasira and Rythi. Both are kind of granting you nods and sort of looks of I don't know, I guess just resolve. But the other 2 dragons in here you don't recognize. The first is rather smaller than all the others, and his scales are the color of black chrome. He's like this very sort of strangely dark, sort of, it's hard to describe. It kind of looks like chrome almost, his skin, and you can see like where his 4 long feet, or like 4 long legs culminate in feet. There's like ice that he seemingly can't control, like slowly spreading and melting across the flagstones. And the other dragon you don't recognize is maybe the most beautiful. She is enormous and gold, much like Nahasira in many ways, except sleeker and less powerful looking. And her head is sort of frilled with these like long kind of long sweeping, I don't know what they're called, they're not like quite horns, but they're those things that people always draw on dragons with a kind of like whisker
Crest?
tentacle horns. Not really a crest. Anyway, she's this beautiful, elegant looking dragon, and the 4 of them are in like their dragon forms. This room is big enough, and you see all their heads kind of like lean down close, kind of like giraffes at a watering hole as you enter.
It was Nahasira, Rythi, and then the black chrome and golden dragon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Nahasira will kind of let out a sort of rumbling growl of greeting. You see like Deontay kind of walks over and like pats her giant muzzle, and she says, "It is good to see you again, my friends." And she'll kind of look to the other dragons in the room. "These are the virtues," and she'll like introduce you one by one. She'll say, "This is Brynhild, songstress of the north. This is Abreshmina, a watcher and a listener. This is Declan Core, a man of science. This is Eli, and she kind of, you see the corners of her mouth kind of twitch a little bit and something like a draconic smile, a pain. And this is Madar, an assassin. And finally this is Makud Dragonseer." And you see the other dragons all kind of nod like they've been told about you. And she says, "My friends, these is the Dark North Wind, Silver." And she'll motion to the black chrome dragon. "And this is Kitanurai, in whose hall you stand currently.
Nice to meet you all.
Kitanerai kind of
Recall.
Kitanerai
Gracious.
will like kind of lean in a little bit, and she says, "I hear you have been to Gormanthen. Is this correct?
We have.
How did you find it?"
Bruno kind of look at Abershmina. Apparently deadly, but I don't know
What?
if that fits because we're not
What?
dead.
Well, it had the potential to be deadly. Certainly bleak.
Bleak. There we go. That's the word I would use. Bleak.
Hmm
She gives a
But
grave nod.
housed many deadly creatures. Some whom garnered the attention from the Fae. She says, still kind of like uncertain as to why she's like not speaking with any kind of certainty whenever we're talking about the Fae Prince or whatever. So like she's like still kind of questioning his presence there.
Yeah, you get 4 curious looks, 5 including Deontay.
He's like a winter fae prince or something like that.
He was said that he was guarding the lair of Macrol the Liar, whom is a huge kraken. But he said his name was
Devonian.
Devonian. Thank you.
Welcome.
There it is. Yeah, Devonian.
That is
But-
very strange.
He said that he was guarding the heart of Gormanthan to ensure that this Macrol the Liar could not leave. But he did not seem very trapped to me.
Yeah.
But it was guarding something that was even more important than the worm tail that you sent us to retrieve.
What is this?
And Abrashmina will do the you know, that's super cool. Not to Declan. We all know that he would really be the one talking if he was here.
Yeah.
But Declan, has Declan retrieve the metallic egg from the chest.
As soon as it's revealed, you see Silpha looks a little confused, as does Rythi, but Kitanerai and Nahasira both like recoil and let out these like deep kind of roars of disbelief and like gasps, and it takes a moment for them to sort of calm down. It's a very like terrifying sight. And
Feel in danger at all? Or?
no, they're not like hostile, but that
He was teasing about the dragon fight. He was teasing about the
but I mean it's like a trainer suddenly got very animated all of a sudden, that's how big they are, and so it's and Kitanerai says, "I knew he had a mate, but I did not know." She like leaned down and kind of nuzzled the egg with her nose. "I did not know this was possible."
It seems to be alive, I think, as far as I can tell these things.
Ardus's mate died before Gormanthan. I was one of the few who knew her. If this egg could be hatched, and Kitanerai turns to look at Nahasira, there are none who could stand before Ardus's heir. Kitanerai, or Nahasira looks.
Sorry, what's the name?
Ardus, Ardus.
Okay.
Nahasira looks quite like troubled by this kind of revelation?
I mean, I know that it is a powerful dragon, and I mean no disrespect to you all, but surely there is no way of knowing if the dragon that would hatch from this would be as powerful as his father.
Well, he. You have seen on Gormanthan what the blood of dragons can do, yes? The power it holds?
Yes, those creatures were very powerful.
A pure blood dragon, born of the most powerful to ever have lived. That is going to be someone special.
There's definitely power in that blood.
Ambrashmina will wisely not argue the point, but she has been a firm believer that bloodlines do not necessarily make or break someone's potential.
Fair point.
Even so, it would take time to hatch this egg, and
It would. And time is not something we have much of right now. And Kitanara is sort of like wrapping her long, kind of serpentine neck like around the egg protectively. And Nazar will nod. The main problem we have right now is Octathrek.
Is what? I'm sorry.
Octathrek is one of the dragons. The chromatics. Gotta be up on these names, yo.
No, the hangout blipped on
Ah,
me, so I couldn't
sus.
actually hear it. Rudeness.
The Bile Terror, Octathrek. Where's my note? Yeah. It seems he is likely planning to try and raise both Strathmorn and Durasterix, heal and or speed up their healing and return them to the front, as it were. We need to try and delay this for as long as possible so that we can have time to ready our strategy. Perhaps contacting this Fae that you speak of, hatching this egg. These are all things that will take much time, but could give us a chance.
I believe Makud commissioned the dwarves of I can't remember the name of their city now. But she'll yeah. Makud commissioned the dwarves into making a weapon that might prove useful.
That is something, I suppose, but until we know exactly what we are dealing with, it will be hard to make a truly effective weapon. But this is good thinking.
Where is this Octothrak?
Currently, we do not know, but well, Deontay mentioned that you had found the Wormethil.
Yes, we managed to get plenty. As I do not remember exactly how much.
Enough. Kitana will, you see her kind of form like shifts a little before like kind of twirling down to her diminutive humanoid form. She's still like, 6.5 feet tall, like very slender, like, and she's sort of gold, like, this very like golden kind of sun elf skin color, but her hair like kind of starts black and kind of like Yasha, but gold, like turns gold halfway down. And she will like take the bundle of wormfill. I will brew a potion tonight, and then, she'll say, I'll brew a potion now, and we should be able to use it tonight. And once we have seen this, then truly we can decide our next steps. But you must be tired. You are guests on this isle for as long as you wish to be, and I will send for you when I have brewed the potion. We will have much to discuss then, so I suggest you rest a while.
Okay.
She will like take you kind of through the volcano a little ways, and you see it's kind of laid out like a typical sort of palace inside, but all kind of strategically built in this ring around the volcano, with many of those sort of open air rooms, and she will lead you to like a set of rooms that are yours to rest in. They're all kind of, they're minimalist, but very nice and very comfortable, and like soft sheets and all that sort of thing.
I would like a sea view, because if there's a window into the volcano, we may die of
Yeah.
sulfuric gas or something.
But yeah, you guys can rest up. There's plenty of food available if you want it. Is there anything people would like to do or discuss and stuff in the downtime?
Explore a little bit. Am I muted? I am
No,
not
no, no.
muted.
Sorry, I was yawning. Yeah, sure. Like head outside, like walk the beaches and that kind of thing. You see this, like all of the,
Like this, like go with Eli, of course, but also I'm sure Makud will want to like wander and stuff. So, Amina will stay close by to translate if Makud needs.
yeah.
We don't necessarily know that these people speak
I know.
uncommon. So Makudo, if he's making do, will just lots of gesticulating and mostly looking for more food, I guess.
Yeah. There'll be like one or two like very kind of bulky. They're all monks. One or two bulky monks who want to come up and like offer to spar a little bit with you. Like,
well, if that's what they want, then that'll entertain him for a while.
yeah.
Have they? Is this like fisticuffs, or have they got
Yeah,
like
yeah, no.
various weapons?
No,
Okay.
you don't see a weapon in sight. The most you'd see is like a quarterstaff, but no, they want to just wrestle a little bit.
Okay, so there's there is the scene where he takes off all of the weapons. Just like
Yeah,
thug,
yeah.
thug, 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 thug.
And you see like while you're taking them off, like one of the monks will kind of walk around you in a circle on the beach and like drag his foot behind him to make like a ring around you both, and then you do this sort of winner stays on sumo type wrestling. That'd be a dope fan art as well.
So good on the beach,
Yeah.
on a tropical island,
Like with
facing
really vibrant colours.
dragon tattooed monks. Yeah,
As the sun's going down in the background. Yeah, love it.
yeah, he would.
And Eli off to one side with a coconut with a parasol in it, like sunning himself.
He would love that time would travel very quickly.
Yeah.
I'd imagine. As he wrestles monk after monk.
Yeah. And they all like come away with, like bruises and bloody noses, but they're all like absolutely grinning, and there's lots of shoulder slapping and promises to buy drinks in that funny weird language they all speak.
Funnily enough, the mead will probably prepare him for the various like fermented fruit drinks
Yeah.
or something they drink on this.
Yeah, it's all cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
But they all just keep doing like a drinking motion and saying like "bacco, bacco," and so eventually Makud kind of picks it up, and every time he says it, they cheer. Makud's just doing Makud's thing where he finds like-minded people and just sort of stupids his way into making great friends with them all.
The universal language.
Yeah.
Stupiding your way into things.
But eventually, after dinner and some time, you are all summoned back into... Oh, sorry, I didn't even ask what Brim was doing.
I imagine Bryn would probably just kind of walk around until she could find like a group of people that would
Yeah.
just kind of like sitting around and she'd like sit down with them and kind of like pull her lute out and start playing.
Yeah, you see, as you do, like, many of them will sing. And you sort of get the impression from like their songs and that kind of thing that they're very like oral history type people, and are able to kind of change the cadence and change their songs to like fit whatever tune you play. And you hear them sing about Kitanarai like wrapping the island in her golden embrace and taking it out of a world of horrors to guard that world from the place of fire. And there's songs about her teaching how to or teaching the monks how to feel fire inside and all that kind of thing. And then one of the songs ends with one of the singers like standing up and like throwing back their head and breathing this huge gout of flame, and everyone like cheers and chuckles and like gives you a big round of applause.
That's fucking showmanship. But yeah, that's what Bryn does.
So as you return, you find the four dragons standing around this like large open cauldron with this kind of bubbling liquid inside. And as you all gather around it, Kitanarai like whispers a few words to it, and the bubbles stop, and the surface of the liquid goes like glassy still, and you watch as it shimmers, and it shimmers to this like red scale, and the view kind of pulls out and out and out and out and out, and you see this gigantic dragon slowly coming into view in the image. You see like this sort of like basalt rock all around him, and you like smell the ocean and hear like waves crashing, and he is just goes on and on and on. He is enormous, and it's hard to sort of get a sense for exactly how big he is, but you can tell that he is gigantic, like unfathomably huge. And then, after a few more whispered words from Katanarai, you see a black dragon, heavily scarred, missing one limb, or one wing. It seems like heavily injured and damaged. And you see that this dragon is like ensconced in this like smoke-filled basin of rock that has no real light in it, and so again it's hard to make out how big this dragon is because you can barely see where or you can barely see enough light to kind of make out the edges of their form. Now your vision changes again and you see jungle. These huge like massive trees, bigger than any of you have ever seen before, and like you hear these like sounds of rain lashing against leaves, and like insects chirping and birds calling. It's a cacophony of sound that, like, especially Makut, like being from the desert, you're not used to. And you see this huge ziggurat covered in vines and moss and looks abandoned and ruined and crumbling. And as the sort of view in the potion like moves through into the ziggurat, you see through the twisting halls, deep in the base, this green dragon, again very scarred, very injured, small and like malnourished looking, kind of a similar size to Rythy, but you see its eyes are like flickering open. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry, I couldn't get to the mute fast enough. Oh, yeah, you see, this green dragon stirring and like kind of beginning to look up. And then you see another flash of a different dragon. This one is different to all the others. Their body isn't this four-legged, two-winged thing. It's got two large wings and seems to sort of almost float. And it's this huge, long, kind of cyan-coloured dragon encircling a very high, snowy mountain top. And looking down, kind of from its perch, you see like a large torii gate, like just before it. And it's
A what kind of gate?
torii gate, I think it is.
Yeah, in Japanese culture,
Yeah.
they sometimes have gates in water, like the red ones with the crossbar.
Yeah.
Or like at temples.
Yeah, Shinto
No idea what you're
shrines.
talking about.
I'll
Oh,
find
okay.
you a picture.
It's a Shinto gate. I wouldn't know what you were talking about.
Okay. They're called torii gates.
Yeah. Yeah, so you see a torii gate, like standing kind of a little ways down a path to the mountain, and this dragon has like, these huge kind of whiskers, like a big long kind of mustache looking thing. Yeah, but it is also asleep, and you see several flashes of other dragons, chromatic and even a few metallic, who Kitanarai and Nahasira and the others don't seem to recognize.
Are we to assume that she's doing some type of scrying ritual? Something like
That's what
that?
Wormtail was for.
Oh.
To seek out other dragons.
But apparently it's not like a scrying spell because they don't get to save. She just gets to see.
Yeah, but I mean, you do have to go to a mystical island and kill a kraken to get it, so there is a payoff.
Yeah.
It's a high-level dragon magic spell.
High level dragon BS.
So at the end, it kind of like circles through lots of other dragons.
Yeah.
No. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
So
It's
there's
both of chromatic and metallic.
yeah, mostly chromatic, but some metallic. So there's more dragons than they thought existed, but still like
But they're
20 max, you know.
But they're mostly concerned about the black dragon and the big black dragon, the injured black dragon, and the scion. Or the
Big
green
red.
and the scion. Or
Big-
red.
Big red, black, and the green one. The sign one, they say, well, Kitanarai will say the Scientera has no interest in matters of lament, it seems. I do not think he will be a problem.
Problem for campaign 3. Got it.
It is good to know that there are more of our kind, even if they are still young. But as you see, Octathrek is stirring, and I find it likely that he will raise Skrathmorn and Dorasterix with his magics.
The green one, right?
I did not recognize that place. Ziggurat in a jungle? Is that
Trash, I think.
woods? Oh, okay. Never mind. He's gonna say it. Cool.
Well, didn't we read about or know about some, was it bug god or something in a temple?
Mm-hmm.
Because
That-
talked about going to fight.
The bug god in the temple was a Shah before it was a desert.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't recall that.
Yeah, because
I know that
It was a thing a while ago.
it's where all the masks came from. Because it was them like saying they were reincarnations of the beast gods
Gotcha.
from B and the D.
Do we know someone from Itresh?
No.
Unfortunately, we didn't sail, so we didn't sail up past the trash.
Yeah.
Excuse me for wanting to be efficient.
That boat arc is still
Aye.
gonna be the one that got away.
I mean,
You know how to get to him now?
Yes, I think so. We need to neutralize him
So-
before he wakes.
So
It-
probably quickly.
Takes some
Better.
time, but yes, it will not be long. I
so if this is me just having a question, if the green one is the Bile Terror, what would you call the black one?
what did I call the
my hang up, but I'm keep confusing the black and the green because for some reason Bile and Octothrak sounds like a black dragon to me. But that
Well,
could just be my hang up.
black dragons breathe acid, yeah.
Yeah, but Bile is like an acidic thing.
Bile, yeah, but it's like, stomach juice. That sort of thing. It's like.
Stomach juice is acid.
Yeah, but it's more. Yes, it is, but it's more like a frog. I would call a frog poisonous. Like that's what I think of when I. The Stygian terror is the Asterix.
Okay. That does sound more black than Bile, I guess.
Yeah, because black means Stygian, or Stygian means black.
Yeah.
So that would be, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like I say, it was my hang up, just like because Bile makes me think of stomach acid.
Well, think of frogs.
Black. Okay. Ribbit. Is he
Giant
squat?
frog dragon.
Is he gonna be like look all silly with his throat all like puffed out?
I mean, you laugh, but he just cast power word kill on you, so.
I'm fine. I've got more than 100 hit points.
You might not at the time.
Yeah, you won't when one of my half health taking mosquitoes bites you
Oh no.
in a trash.
So was it Nahasira said something that
Kitanarite, that was
Kitan.
Yeah.
To get there quickly and neutralize him.
So, what's it called? Kitanarite, sorry, I'm not on form tonight, it's been a long week. Kitanarite sort of thinks for a little while, and she says, I must guard the gate to the plane of fire, which is here. If Strathmorn does wake, then this is where he will come to try and reclaim some of that power. Nahasira, you know what you must do. Nahasira nods. Raithi, you are the strongest and the best hunter. I think it wise that you seek some of the dragons we have seen in our visions. Convince the metallics to join us if you can. Sulfur, you are the fleetest. Perhaps you should fly south to Octothrek. And as for you, she turns to the virtues. I think that is a good idea also. However,
To go after the Bile Terror.
yes, however, this egg will not hatch unless it is under very specific conditions. I feel Declan as its bearer. I will tell you of Ardus's home, and you must take the egg there. And when you have arrived, Nahasira will find you there. And together you will try to hatch the egg. Declan kind of gives you all a sort of wide-eyed look, but nods.
That's for the best.
I will not let you down. She says in a horrible impression of Declan.
So
Oh, thanks for no
Shame you-
selling that, everybody. That is
I laughed.
I didn't hear it.
I was about to reply.
Okay.
I just had to finish writing the sentence what you said. Jim, you're going to miss the fight.
I think that's for the best, Makud. I think we must take the greater good into account, and well, I think this is very important. But I'll be sad not to be by your side.
You will be missed, friend.
Gives you a sort of significant look. And you try and keep Makud from killing everyone he sees, at least.
Do not worry, I will supervise them both. Make sure they don't get into too much trouble.
Yes, I would feel very nervous about this if it went for you, Mina, so...
I would protest, but I know our
But
friend.
you know I'm right.
Yes, that's it. I know you're right.
Well, my friends,
Sorry.
I'll miss you too. And Declan will depart to go and make preparations.
Did he leave the sword?
It fell out of his pocket on the way out.
No, you want? No, I'll just keep it.
Oh no.
You should take this for the fight ahead
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Can we make a mantle of the Bank from Akud so we can all have some dimension door goodness?
You can be called the Mounties instead of the Virtues.
Does the motorbike take attunement?
No, it does
No.
not.
Oh, excellent.
Then
What's the other thing
sure.
that he had that...
Well, I don't know, because if everyone was on
Did he
D&D
give you-
Beyond, I could just slide into his character sheet, but there you go.
Didn't he give you his sheet?
Nope.
You should make him. I just know that he had the Sword of Haunting.
Yeah, it's sort of haunting.
Sort of elf bulliness. Oh, I can add it to your
Yes,
D&D Beyond thing, Bryn. Jade.
I already have it. You initially put it in my.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
He had Athla, Sword of Haunting, his lens. What was his other attuned item?
Ring.
The ring of whatever.
Resistance.
Earth Elementals.
Elemental control.
Oh. Ooh. Is
I
it
mean,
still empowered? If he gives it to somebody else, or would he take that with him?
I feel like that is very core to his character and how he's operated,
Yeah,
and it's quite
yeah.
defensive an item if he has to look after the egg.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He
Okay.
can
No.
vanish inside the egg and say hello to the baby dragon.
Or hide.
Whee!
He can have Makud throw the egg and then bamf inside it and then bamf out as it lands.
Hmm.
Genius.
Is there anything that can be used to aid our journey south?
Well, Deontay can surely teleport you to... Why am I doing this voice? This isn't any character's voice. Deontay can surely teleport you to somewhere in the trash. And you will have Silver, though he will not be able to carry all of you. Silver kind of like shrugs sheepishly. But Well, I am afraid to say that it will be hard to return. Deontay will say, well, I should be able to teleport them relatively close, having seen the visions of the ziggurat. But
I'm just gonna put us right up on the dragon then.
well, potentially. I'm not saying it's 100% chance, but well, it will probably work.
Okay.
Or you could walk. Your choice.
I was meaning, like, that was C, kind of wondering if there was some kind of reward for all of the gourmandin stuff, but
You get an elven sword, and you get an elven sword. Or fake sword.
but I suppose if we are going to go fight the dragon now, then I suppose we are going to go fight the dragon now.
You turn around and you see a Panzer IV tank with a big bow on it.
Yeah, this is what I always wanted.
Oh my god, Brennan, a tank.
Does it require attunement?
No, but it does require knowledge of a century other than the one you're currently living in.
I mean, that's good. I know plenty about the century before.
Make a history check.
You didn't say a future century.
Make a history check.
Now I'm just imagining all those like animal-headed mummy type riding across the desert in tanks.
Just like the like beetle one has like a cigar hanging out his mouth and like his hat with a plane, his like helmet with a playing card in it. And
It's a good day to die, motherfuckers. 7.
okay, you realize you're imagining the tank.
Are we ready to fight a dragon today, potentially?
I probably should spend some time getting to know my new sword, but
I think maybe you should spend some time.
Preparing, perhaps.
Yes, I think taking on a dragon as old as Octothrek is not something you should do lightly. You will have a few weeks before he is ready to travel, so
Who will need a few weeks?
you will.
the dragon.
Deontay will?
No, the dragon.
Oh, he will. Okay.
We have a couple weeks before we have to murder him.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have some time to prepare.
How does one
Goody.
prepare to fight a dragon?
I don't know. Nahasira, you don't have anything in your hoard of dangerous items that might prove useful, do you? In slaying one of your own kind?
It just reminded me, I did get a dragon lance or something from
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
the very large dragon we were just spending time with.
Wraithy.
Crazy.
Wraithy.
Raithi.
One. Wraithy.
So
Anyways, Nahasira, A.
Dragon harpoon is what it's down as.
Yeah.
Still don't know what it does. We'll see when I throw it at a dragon.
Yeah, you will.
The Kitanurai doesn't have anything uber powerful from all
The Kitana Rai
Are they-
doesn't, but Nahasira will nod and say, yes, there are some things I imagine that would be of help to you.
we have some potions. We need some potions that can grant us resistances.
This can be done.
Do we know as characters dragon or breath weapon a green dragon would have?
They would for sure tell you. Expect poison.
Okay.
Or we're just going to ingest a lot of poison until we're immune.
Don't think that is something that we could do quickly.
Inspiration.
Get out of your whiskey.
Alright.
Build up a tolerance.
Mm-hmm. So what you're saying
No.
what I'm hearing is I need to drink whiskey all the time until we get ready to go fight the dragon.
What I am hearing is that we should have taken the necklace of adaptation from the Bell Witch whenever she was offering to put it on offer.
Can we like knock out a quick quest for her?
I don't know, Kitanura. I have been trying to reunite the goddess Vale with some of her and her people with some of their lost artifacts. I don't suppose you have come across any, have you?
No, sorry.
No, sorry. Okay.
None for you.
None for you. Okay.
No artifacts here.
Well, I can cast protection from poison.
I can go talk to Paul and get a potion.
Yeah, let's go talk to Qual.
Oh,
Oh.
we will not be getting to the dragons this session. If we go to Qual.
I mean,
That's what you think.
probably. I can cast protection from poison, but I can only cast it on one person. Oh wait, it's not. Hold on, it's not. No, I can spam that. I can spam that and cast it on everybody.
It's not concentration.
No, it's not. I don't think, and it lasts an hour. So if we don't
No.
find any, yeah, it lasts for an hour, not concentration. But
That-
it's a second level spell.
Yeah. Resistance to poison and advantage on saving throws against being poisoned.
During the duration, blah 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 blah. During the duration you have advantage on saving throws against being poisoned and has resistance to poison damage.
Woo.
So
Yes.
that's gonna be the last resort. You don't want to use up all your.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
can't upset it.
I cannot, but I could spend 4 of my second level. No, I only have 3 spell slots for the second level, so I could cast it on all of us. NPCs would be ASL unless I also burned my 2 of my third levels to protect them. So we should try and see if we can get some non-magical
Yeah.
resistance going. Does Makud's little earring grant him protection
that-
or resistance?
No, he
That
deals
is-
poison.
1d4 poison.
Just gives you damage.
content
Okay.
If I wanted to. I could swap into the boat and dwarven kind, but then I would have to. I could basically choose a hammer and just go with one hammer and then put on the Scarab of Protection, so I have, advantage against spells, which may be thrown at us a lot, and I could also put the belt on. Or, concentrate on the belt. Basically drop a hammer, and then, because I dropped a hammer, I don't need the wrist guard that gives me the
Yeah.
ability to wield massive hammers. So I can go more defensive, effectively,
Uh-huh.
against magic and against poison, which, may be an advantage.
Yeah,
Because
may
I can
not
still
be.
hit pretty hard one hammer.
Do we know if green dragons also have any sort of fire-related abilities?
No.
We don't know.
I'm imagining all of these ancient dragons can have some spells.
Yeah, they all
That's
have.
true.
Some
They all.
may be
They all.
fireball or
They all have.
meteors,
Yeah,
which strike and
they all
whatever,
have
so-
magic for sure.
Basically trying to decide if I want the spell guard shield or if I want the boots of the Winterlands. I think I'm going to switch my attunement to the shield. But yeah, that we need to go talk to Qual.
Did Nasira have anything that she was
Yes.
that probably should be first, and then we gotta go potion shopping?
Yes. I agree with Jade.
Okay.
Why?
Because you made a very smart point.
Oh, okay.
So, back to Ashar then, for the time
We
being.
wait patiently for Nahasira,
Yeah.
and we would go, gimme, 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 gimme. I'm trying to remember Jean Ralphio's sister. I can't remember her name, and I can't remember the name of the actress who plays her, other than I love her. But like her character in Parks and Rec, where she's like, "Daddy, give me money."
Mhm.
Okay. So back to Ashar then.
I might go more defensive for this fight because it's probably better that I pass the spells and pass the breath test, resist the breath test. Than I do have lots of cool hammers though. This will mean that we probably won't have the earth elemental.
Which
maybe?
hammer would you go with?
I don't
Do you
know.
think?
I feel like the Pillar of Enthers haven't just been given it, and also to kill a hammer. I mean, to kill a dragon with that hammer, which is kind of its purpose, is important. Also, I've completely forgotten, but Makut like swore a blood oath to like kill the dragon that killed Enthers. Was
Mhm.
that the green one?
Yeah.
I
Or
think
was-
so.
does-
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, then there isn't much choice. So I would have the Manifest Enthers hammer, which is still level 1 before, right? Or should it have upgraded after killing the Kraken?
Yeah. It's level 2.
It's level 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet. I propose we do all of our preparations, and then I will have us a hero's feast tonight.
Okay.
But yeah, waiting on Nahasira's thing.
Yeah. So she will bring you back to Ashar and to her home. She has a massive case full of capes of the mountebank for you all.
No, but for real.
No, but for real, I didn't have anything prepped to give you. But she for sure would have something. So, is there something you guys are particularly looking for? Some strategy you'd like to employ? Or will you just let me come up with something between now and next session to give you?
Either one. I mean, if she wanted to do things that were like poison resistance and helped us with like saving throws for like dex checks or things like that, that would kind of help us get out of the way, or
Yeah.
dragon. Don't they have like frightful presence and stuff like that?
And that is what the hero's feast will be for.
Okay. That's
Maybe some enhanced abilities for Dex.
Yeah. All right. Well, why don't you let me come up with a sort of loot pool for you all.
okay.
This weekend or whatever.
Sounds good.
So we'll just say for now that you get some loot for now. So, I know this is not going to be a mega long session, but what we'll try and do is kind of how we tend to do our like downtimey sessions, where you guys determine how long you want to spend downtiming, or like before you leave, like if it's literally the next day or if it's straight away. Determine what you want to do in the time that you have. We'll play out some of that, we'll hand wave some of it, and then basically next session we can dive straight into the plot.
Okay. In that case, if we're gonna like take some time.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if you want to take time or not. So.
Not like a huge amount of time, but if we have like a day to like kind of prepare things, or two.
Mm-hmm.
Avrashmina would probably do some preparatory communions and what have you.
Okay.
And then possibly check in with Vale just in case, and check in with Qual and Timim and things.
Yeah, for sure.
Tamim.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, like. What's it called? Unfortunately, well, Tamim. I imagine you give him his gift.
What?
I imagine you give Tamim his gift.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Vale doesn't have any new quests or anything for you, though. She and what's his name? I haven't played this game in so long. Aranthis. Are doing very well. Like you.
Oh.
Yeah.
I will ask them if they know where Vale's veil is, because she saw it in her little vision thing, and Aranthis had it, and now it is lost.
Unfortunately, they do not know.
Oh, okay. Damn. Okay. It's like one of those things. Like I meant to ask them, and then I never asked them.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. But you'll be told. Yeah, you'll be told that there's nothing for you currently, but there may be in time to come.
Okay.
However, an interesting thing happens when you go and see Qual. So.
Is Bryn with me? Is Makud with me? Or is it just Mina?
Nothing. Bryn has to go potion shop.
Okay.
I think we're probably together.
Okay.
Being run up to Dragon Kill.
Yeah. You guys arrive at Qual's potions and other objects that you can also purchase. To find it kind of in tatters. You see Qual like kind of sitting down next to his stall, which has been like kind of smashed to pieces. And there's like loads of broken glass everywhere, and he's kind of slowly kind of pulling it all, like kind of gathering up the glass and stuff as he can. And he kind of like glances up at you, see he's got a black eye. And you see him kind of like sigh a bit as he catches sight of you.
Brishmina won't say anything. She'll just walk up and start mending pieces of his cart and things back together as best she can.
He'll kind of... let's just say he'll like watch with a sort of confused frown.
Makud leans over Who did this to you?
It
Who did you piss off?
doesn't matter. He shakes his head, like, kind of looks away.
It does.
It's nothing. Please, just I haven't got any potions for you today.
Well, can we help you? I mean, aside from like helping clean up.
Frown kind of deepens. Why would you want to do that?
Because you are our favorite potion seller.
I mean, you've been really good to us. You've given us discounts. I mean, you haven't kicked my ass out every time I come over here.
He looks very taken aback and kind of flustered. Well,
I do not know if you noticed this, but there is constantly new places to and people to purchase from in the bazaar. But whenever we need potions, we always come here to you.
I appreciate that. Really though, this is just it's a personal thing. It doesn't really matter.
He's half elf, right?
Yeah.
Moon elf? Wood elf?
Sun.
Sun? Okay.
You like run afoul of like some competition or
He shakes his head. No, nothing like that.
flirt with the wrong guy's wife.
Or
Make
husband?
make an insight check.
Oh,
That's tragic.
good.
He did a whole hell of a lot more than flirting with the wrong guy's wife or husband.
See, I know that look.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Friend, I've been there before.
Which shawl did you piss off?
It wasn't a shawl. He mumbles, like, blushing furiously and looking away.
Was it the shawl?
Make an insight check again.
Shalessa?
Ooh, that one's better. 26.
I'm glad you got that one, because I only got a 20.
No, it wasn't a shawl.
It wasn't?
No.
Bryn's grinning ear to ear right now. Alright. So, are they gonna come back, or do you think they think you learned your lesson?
I don't know.
It wasn't a moon elf, was it?
He shakes his head again. Look, please,
Some crime lord.
It's nothing. Don't worry. Just... doesn't matter.
They had to have been pretty angry to smash up your stall and all your potions.
Yeah. We'll let him keep his secrets. If he doesn't want to tell us too, then that's fine, but I would recommend being a little more careful next time.
You see him sort of open his mouth to say something and then close it again. And it looks like he's trying to decide what to say.
Makud, who's like trying to, I imagine, put up the very large sign that is, quals, potions, and items and other things.
That you
all
can
the
also
sundry
purchase.
that you can buy. Yeah, exactly. He's like putting it up and it swings down. He puts it up and swings down. Makud kind of like off the cuff, not even really looking at him, is like, look, we all know you're an asshole, and some of us are kind of assholes, so we're not that different. And he like hammers in a errant nail or something to keep that sign up, just like with his fist, just like the bottom of his fist just smash. And he turns and looks at him and goes, "We all know this isn't right. Whoever did this to you."
Make a persuasion check, Makud, with advantage.
Okay.
I don't like that when you make that noise after rolling
The first roll was not very good. The second roll, I'm just looking for my no persuasion modifier whatsoever. 14, I'm afraid.
That's good enough. He says, "Look, it's not like I was trying to be some kind of homewrecker or anything like that. It's just, well," he kind of looks around. She started coming a few months ago. She needed healing potions. She was quite bruised a lot of the time, and we got to talking, and it became a little more, and well, her husband he's a brute. And, well, he did this, as I'm sure you can guess it. Now, I'm sure she's being punished far worse than I am.
Now you have to know.
He nods like,
You can't tell us a story like that and not expect us to want to do something.
he's one of the city guards.
Food like that. He just like, there is a slow smile and like the muscles ripple slightly.
Which one?
His name is Jasir El Sharif.
Oh man, you gotta put that
Yeah,
in the chat.
yeah. We haven't had a good Ashari name in a little while.
Yeah. Sharif don't mind. Rock castle. Sharif don't like it. Sorry.
Yeah. I second Jade's question.
Well,
Don't recognize that name, do we?
No.
From our brief stint in prison.
No.
Okay.
Presumably we recognize some faces from
For sure.
Okay.
I mean, Ashar's a big city, you know, there's a lot of city
I know,
guards. So.
but only a few of them imprisoned us unlawfully
Yeah.
and fucked us over.
Very true.
so this
It's
is
not
how
like they were giving out names.
I mean, yeah. They're like, excuse me, can I get your name and badge? Oh God, stop! That's the kid name.
Yeah, they were definitely one of those assholes that covered up their badges before pulling out their batons. Anyways.
This is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna handle this situation. you're going to do what you can to acquire some potions of poison resistance. We will pay a fair price for those. And then we're gonna go give our friend a little talking to. We just wanna see how he's doing. And if he's beating up on this woman, Makud, we might have to beat up on him too.
Do you have a place to stay?
Yes.
Are you safe there?
Yes.
If you ever feel unsafe, you can go to the Mirage. Just let Schmier know that Abrashmina said that you could stay there. And then whenever he tries to give you flack, tell him that if Bryn hears that you did not let him stay there, that did not let you stay there for free, she will definitely be having words with him.
I don't really know what to say.
Usually, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, where can we find her? And what is her name?
Her name is Hala.
We will see what we can do to help Hala.
I am so grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
He knows where she lives, right? Is he able to give us directions?
Yeah.
Ashar is a big city, just wanted to make
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Makud will say, we will make sure she makes it to the Mirage.
Abrashmina nods. Yes. Perhaps it would be best to spend the night there, since we will most definitely be making sure that she will not be staying the night with her husband, and he would go looking for you at your place.
Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you. He looks kind of very like nervous and scared, but also very like just grateful and relieved that someone's doing something.
Well, we should not waste any time.
Yeah, let's go pay our new friend a visit.
See if his hands are screwed on the right way. Because there was a small part of me that was like, oh shit, man, Qual's got mixed up with gear.
No.
But thankfully he was all like city guard with a wife. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That would be incredibly devious of a Rakshasa to like target all of the party's like favorite shopping venues to like weaken them before his fight.
Oh man.
Why would you put that in the note?
Scribble.
Stop.
No, what I like is that it's not that he's the city guard, and like got married and beat on his wife, blah 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 blah. But rather he's both the wife and the city guard.
And Qual.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh no!
He is everyone.
It's he can't be Qual, or at least he wasn't the Qual we first met. He could be Qual now, but he wasn't the Qual we first met, because the Qual when we met Qual the first time, one, Jakir was still Jakir, and two, he's been Abrashmina did a communion and was told that he was still in hell, and Qual was about then. So that's not to say that he's not Qual now, but there is a
McCall
person
we know
named
would
Paul.
never say thank you.
I know. Now I'm suspicious.
Here, I need you to hold this silver coin for me real quick. I'm just testing.
He takes it.
Thank you. Yeah, let's go beat up an asshole.
I
Okay.
mean, we might talk this situation through.
He's gonna get his face punched in eventually,
Oh,
though.
he's gonna get stabbed. I mean,
Like how you say eventually, and we're not going to start with a gut punch because that's McCall's opening line.
I like how Declan's all like, try not to get into any trouble, and like immediately the first thing we do is all like, oh look, it's someone with an excuse for us to punch. Let's go punch.
I
Let's
would
go
say
do
this
that.
is a pretty good excuse.
This
It's
dude's a
not
piece
like
of shit.
Yeah,
And if
yeah,
McCall
yeah, yeah,
recognized
yeah.
him from the prison, this guy ain't serious.
What if he has your act?
oh
Oh my.
no,
Just what I need.
not scribbling. What are you writing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyways,
Yeah, anyway, you head to the address. It's in the sort of rougher area of a Shah. Like, it's the sort of little bit that's kind of not necessarily like the worst sort of crime-ridden area, but it's a cheap place to live, and yeah, you're kind of struggling to find where it is, like navigating your way through the alleys, but eventually you come to the right address. It's this small little like one floor, one room house. The door like bolted shut from the inside, and you hear sounds like raised voices inside.
just raised voices doesn't sound like fighting or anything.
Well, it's just one raised voice that you can currently hear.
McCall thunders on that door, so it is
Yeah, he
barely
does.
still locked. Doesn't have that, and that is just a politeness. It doesn't have to be locked at this moment. But
Make a strength. Make a melee attack roll.
melee attack, athletics, strength.
Make some kind of roll a d20 and add a number to it, and tell me what that number is.
That is a 15 plus 11 at minimum.
Okay.
Depending on what you're asking me to do here,
So
between
you-
attacking and athletics.
You bang on the door, and the door bangs on the floor. So yeah, you like bang, and it kind of just it's immediately like an extreme that you can tell it's like very old piece of shit door that like your hand basically just goes straight through it.
He didn't entirely mean it, but he just, used the bottom of his fist, just went whack, and it just went completely off,
Yeah.
lock and all, to the ground.
Yeah, exactly. And you like barge inside to see a man like standing there. Like you see his hand. Like immediately you see like the knuckles on his hand are scraped, and there's a bit of fresh blood there. You see a very pretty young woman, like kind of like strewn down on the bed, like kind of clutching a bruised like side of her face, like tears pouring down her cheeks, and the man looked like he was in the middle of a tirade, and he like wheels around to see what the hell just knocked down his door, and you see his eyes go wide when he spots you.
Do we recognize him?
Okay, I just rolled a natural 20, so yeah, this is the one prison guard, or one of the few prison guards that got away. You think? You recognize his face. You'd recognize his face anywhere. He's got a very distinct beard. This man, is from the era mine.
Oh, they didn't have to be from the mine. They could have been one of the guys that beat us up
We're in prison.
in
yeah.
the holding cells.
He's one of the guys from the mine, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, like nobody made it from the mine, right? This is definitely a guy from the holding cells.
Britain's eyes go cold.
Well,
and dead.
you were in there for, just to clarify, you were in there for like a week, a few days, and like not all the guards you saw, like he was there on the first few days, but then, circled back to the city. So.
So Bryn's eyes go cold and dead the minute she recognized him. El Sharif, I presume?
Who the hell are you?
Well, now I have a name for a face. She's coming with us. You're not arguing, or you are a dead man.
And if you ever see this woman again, speak to her, raise a hand in her direction.
You are dead.
I will bring down all the curses and rages of he who watches.
Okay.
There is not an Ashala in the world that is good enough to pay for what you have done.
Could everyone just make intimidation checks, please?
I'm proficient in those.
I'm curious.
Oh,
I'm
19 on
charismatic.
the dice. Plus 5.
Bryn
That was great.
started letting some of like the dreaming dark energy, that purple and that blue, kind of like started spilling on him.
Oh, hell yeah.
I think Makud is, if he recognizes him, he is seething, like heavy breathing, like he is occupying most of this house right now,
Mm-hmm.
and is death incarnate.
That's a 27 on intimidation.
I just want to see. I'm gonna use. I rolled really good, but I want to see if I roll better.
Okay. She just really wants to be intimidating.
Yeah. Okay. That was worse, but 20 for Ambrishmina.
Jeebus. Alright. Yeah, this man, like, wets himself a bit, like, stares at you all, and just, like, frozen with fear, gives his head, like, the slightest nod.
Ambrishmina is going to take the dagger from her belt, as she has a ceremonial one that came with her starting equipment like ages and ages ago, and she's going to walk over to like what I assuming is a kitchen or whatever. She's going to find their salt cellar, dip the dagger in the salt, and then hand it to him and say, "You will pay the Afshala now."
He, like, looks down at the dagger, like, back up at you, eyes wide, like, gazes at Makud, and then very slowly will cut his palm and place it to his chest.
"Where you hit her," she said, pointing, like gesturing towards like the woman's black eye.
He will slowly move his hand to acquiesce.
She's not like demanding he takes his eye, but
Yeah,
she
yeah.
wants a mark. She wants a mark on his face.
Yeah.
It's like I want everyone to see. You're
You
the
see his,
son.
like, his hand is shaking as he does, but he will cut himself.
When it is done to Mina's satisfaction, she will take her dagger back.
Alright.
When you said Upshala or something?
Afshal.
Afshal.
It's the, there's an Ashari, Afshal. It's an Ashari apology ritual. Generally you cut your hand and place it over your chest, but Mina was going, rogue.
Okay.
She wanted to make sure that everyone could see that he failed in some way.
Bryn wants to be the last one to leave, so she's gonna wait for everybody else to leave.
Oh,
Oh boy.
Coot's gonna get very personal with this guy in a moment. So,
Wait,
he's gonna look to the woman and go, "You should leave now. No one else is gonna take her out of the room.
Yeah, her eyes are like mega wide, and she will scuttle
We
out
have
of the
somewhere
room.
for you to go."
Abarashmina will take her out of the. Will assist her and let her gather her some things
Yeah.
up, because she will say, "You will not be coming back here," and help her gather up some of her items. I'm assuming there's not much because this is a shit ass part of
Yeah.
town.
The
Shit
entire
ass.
time that's going on, Makut does not like move his eyes from looking at this guy while they gather stuff.
Yeah, and Abarashmina will escort her outside and let her know that in a much calmer voice, like her anger got switched off or whatever, that Qual sent them, and that there are rooms waiting for them at the Mirage.
That is
And
thank you.
she's going to press 40 gold into her hands.
She like gasps and tries to kind of push it back to you, like shaking her head.
No. Abrashmina refuses to take it.
Okay.
I guess Bryn, seeing that Makut is not going to leave, will kind of start to draw her rapier and cut towards guy, and look at Makut and be like, "No mercy."
I was going to lean towards Declan telling it, like, basically Makut tell him he's lucky that he's been taught the way of peace or something, but you're such a bad influence that maybe
no.
murder is on the cards.
Oh no! I wasn't gonna murder him. I was just gonna
Oh.
threaten him. You're standing there.
Okay.
You're both yes-anding each other way too
I mean,
hard.
if you said no mercy,
Well, that's
Oh.
what Bryn thinks that you want right now.
Okay. I'm gonna take that as more like a look or like a suggestion.
It's kind of like it's a question. It's definitely
Sure.
the question at the end is like the question mark is like no mercy.
Makut is basically gonna pick this guy up by the midriff, by the neck, or something like that, and pin him to the wall at like Makut height.
Oh
And
boy.
Makut, the horns are gonna be grinding in to the wall on either side of this guy's head. You corrupt piece of shit. You don't recognize us? How
I'm
many
sorry.
fucking minotaurs do you get in your mind? Do you recognize me now? Do you recognize us now?
Yes.
You take the good and you crush it out of people. Your fists have the blood of the innocents on them. You do not know how much blood my fists have had on them. But I have been taught the value of life. A lesson I would recommend you would learn right fucking now. Learn it! And he's just gonna roar at this guy, eyes locked.
Yeah, you see he's like blubbering and crying, like clutching at your hand to try and like, free his neck or whatever from where you're crushing him. Is,
Abrashmina just pushes Hala down the street. I'm like, no, this is fine. You go now.
I love.
Pay no attention to the roaring behind you. You go.
He's going to like push into the wall, like with his horns, till he is like pressed up against this guy, basically, as he has said that, and then pull free, and like dust and masonry and stuff goes flying out, and he's going to pick the guy up and just slam him against the ground, not aiming to kill him, just maybe break something.
Yeah.
And he will
You
just
hear his-
smash him against the ground.
You hear his ribs crack. Definitely.
And then he's gonna like look at Bryn for a moment and then walk out, and she'll know that he is like inches away from what he would think is
Murderation.
the death of that man, but
So Bryn will draw her rapier and walk up and kind of like take and stick the point just a little bit into like his throat. Just enough to kind of like draw blood and let him know that you are an extremely lucky man.
He's just groaning in pain, but like staring up at you still.
And she's just kind of like letting like all of like dreamy dark kind of like pour off of her and kind of like opens her mind a little bit and kind of like floods his mind with like basically screams and all the sounds of the mind. Remember, we showed you mercy. I won't if I see you again. Just kick him in the side and walk out.
He gasps and like kind of rolls onto his side, like clutching his stomach.
Walk back to the Mirage, stone face, not talking.
When you arrive, you find Smear interrogating Qual, who's trying to be polite, but Smear is they're kind of riling each other up. But finally, you arrive, and they both try and speak to you at the same time. Smear being like, "This guy says he knows you," and Qual saying that. I told him, but he wouldn't listen, kind of thing.
You did not invoke Bryn's name then? Because surely that would have been enough.
Yeah, of course it would be enough, Smear says, and like scuttles off to go and do some work somewhere. When
Hala?
Hala and Qual see each other, both their eyes kind of go wide, and then they like run forward and sort of grab each other and just pull them into a hug, both looking pretty banged up, but better being out of that situation.
It's all okay now that they have each other. Sorry.
Yeah, something like that.
Nerds.
Yeah, big time.
Get anyone a drink or?
Yeah, this should not be a bother to you now.
Thank you so much. I don't know what to say.
If he is, you let us know immediately.
I will.
We'll let you go now.
Fair enough.
Shugo, like hearing his name, kind of glances over and just nods.
food, drinks?
Yes to both. And both are had in spades. What would you all like to do for the rest of your downy time, you think?
Abrashmina, I suppose this is something to ask. Did Eli and the Madar come back to Ashar with us,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
are they waiting for us back wherever? Okay. But Abrashmina is going to spend that night in communion on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Basically holding like one of her vigils for He Who Watches, because I didn't have my communion spells prepped, but essentially she's going to go up there until so much time has passed that she can prepare new spells and
Yeah.
then cast
Okay.
them. Basically, if flavorfully, she's waiting for the next day so that she can cast them.
Eli will
But-
get drunk with Makud.
Okay.
All right.
If that's what Makud's up for.
Who is up for drinking?
When there's Makud not.
Well, more than usual right now. Keeping that piece of shit alive.
Yeah. Are
Take the
you?
pill.
This is me asking you, Dan. Do you think we should do any dwarvy things before dragon things in this pseudo downtime that we've got going?
I hadn't considered it. I know you brought up the weapon, which was a good pull. I don't know how long it's been since they started developing and how long it would take, and whether that's more like the next dragon or Strathmorn kind of.
Yeah. Do you think it would be worth? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you go.
I was just gonna say, do you think it'd be worth our time to take them the dragon harpoon to see if they can make that into something more functional for Makud? It might take them a while, but
that seems like that seems a good idea. And if this is a weapon that is made for killing dragons, and that gives them an, they're making a weapon, saying that they've never seen a dragon before. We just said it was like a big worm, so they're making whatever they know. But if we take them a dragon harpoon, maybe they
and say this is what your weapon needs to fire, things like this.
Yes. They can then craft ammunition relevant or something. So probably a very good idea.
Okay.
To drop in with the dwarves.
Yeah, like you said, might not be useful for this particular instance, but something we need to set the inroads for.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't really have anything specific that Abershmina was wanting to commune about. I think this is just more like her trying to touch base with the head office type of situation. If Ramiel has like any kind of advice or anything like that, and asking for his permission to conjure him in some way in the upcoming battles.
Yeah.
That we have with these dragons.
You're given permission, and Ramiel. He seems kind of. It's sort of in a similar mindset to Makud, where he's like glad that he's involved in some way in this. And he says, I do not know if you will survive, Abrishmina, but I know that if there is anyone alive who can do this, it is the virtues.
Your confidence is warming. Do you know anything of the time before the Battle of Gormanton?
He shakes his head. That was well before even me.
figured as much.
I am not that old, Abrishmina. Chuckles.
Yes, well, I didn't know if you shared stories with any of the other ASMR up in, up there doing the good works.
I will be sure
Like
to
the ones
ask
that
around.
create. Well, like the ones that created this mantle, they seemed very old. Says kind of fingering the edge of it.
Rude.
Huh?
I feel like Rob was being childish at your use of the word
Oh,
finger.
I was.
Oh. Okay. Well, then I'll. You know, I was assuming that he was being an adult and Hangouts was giving him the benefit of the doubt by garbling with his response, so I didn't hear him being childish.
I think it just went, ooh.
I just said rude.
Oh, rude. Okay.
Now that he's forgotten what Abrishmina said, so Ramiel doesn't have to respond now.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah. Just saying, I said something, you responded with rude, and then didn't actually say anything. So
No, because he said, yeah.
Ramiel stares blankly.
What did you ask?
But,
If he'd spoken with any of the other...
Yeah, and he said he'd ask around.
He'd ask around.
no, I said after that, like, like perhaps
Those
the
who made
ones
the
that
mantle.
created this mantle.
Sorry, I must have
And
been
then
caught up on the whole fingering situation.
Yeah, you're not paying attention, that's cool.
I mean, don't say funny things then.
I mean,
It's a
fair
serious
enough.
game for serious people.
Grumble, 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 grumble.
You're 12.
You started singing a song during the middle of a fucking description earlier, so you can chill your herbs. And no one else knew what the song was.
I mean, I knew what the song was.
Oh,
That's
well.
old.
Rock the Casbah, rock
The
the
sheep.
Sharito.
Right. Is there anything else anyone would like to do?
No.
Brain? No.
No, I meant for me. No. For me.
I was like,
I
okay.
wasn't
No,
answering
you're
for
done.
you, Jade.
Is there anything else anyone else would like to do? I start talking. No.
I'm sorry.
See? Rude.
Exactly. Rude. So Brent's gonna try to sneak out of the mirage, and I can roll any kind of stealth checks or anything like that. If you,
Yeah, give us a stealth check.
26.
Yeah.
Damn, it beats my passive perception because I was up on the roof. But damn it, she eat it.
So, I'm gonna take the whiskey that I brought,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna take a bottle to Bubba,
Okay.
give it to him as a gift, and basically taste the home.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the help you provided. And I'm gonna take a bottle to Siggy,
Yeah.
and then I'll try to sneak back into the mirage, maybe share a drink with them or something like that real quick. And then I'll try to I'll sneak back into the mirage, and I want to give a bottle to her and a bottle to Holly. When I give it to Shamir, I'll just be like, so you know what good whiskey actually tastes like.
Yeah.
So
But yeah,
during this time, Makud is drinking with both of the dates of both of the other player
Yeah.
characters, I guess.
Back down and drink with everybody else.
You can have an inspiration for Whiskey Center. Alright. Well, I think if that's everyone's kind of things sorted.
Well, there is the dwarf stuff. That's everyone's things for that night.
Mm. So
But
dwarf stuff is now then.
yeah, like I don't know if you want to like play that out, or if you just want to say that they don't have anything ready, but
Yeah. Oh,
they're gonna
they're
take this.
yeah. They won't be ready yet. Like they're
Okay.
industrious, but they're having to invent something pretty much entirely new.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
Hopefully this
it's
will help them.
well
I
in
think
hand. Yeah.
McCoo basically described it as the biggest worm, bigger than you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Because he has an idea of scale of Strathmore. Do you want to save it and play it out, or do you want to say that?
I mean, up to you. I think the only problem with playing it out is that there isn't much like movement in what's happening. If that makes sense.
It just sometimes you like playing every small interaction out, and
That's
I
true.
may enjoy that. So, but we don't have to. There's a lot of stuff going on. If not, we just give the harpoon. Say maybe if you could find a way to use this,
Yeah.
make more of them.
They will make more of them for sure.
Or use them as ammunition in some giant ballista type contraption to.
Yeah, just wait till you're all in a
Yeah,
giant
power.
robot and each of you gets to control one part of it.
Oh no.
I've heard that goes down
Hashtag
really
trigger.
well.
I mean, it may take an army to fight Strathmore, and if the dwarves are armed with dragon killing ballista, it will become much easier.
Hell yeah. Alright. Well, I think if we're all good, we'll finish there.
Is it presumed that this downtime will last several weeks, so they might be able to fashion a different dragon harpoon off the back of the one that we have given them, and that I should still have it in my inventory, or do you want me to give it away?
It's so this downtime is not necessarily going to take several weeks. You have a maximum of several weeks.
Right.
So, you know, it
I
kind of
can make
depends.
a note that I've given it to the dwarves, just
Yeah.
because I was keen to throw it at the green dragon, but field testing. It's okay.
For sure.
Get long
Alright.
of the dragon. We know there's others out there.